I'm here with Jason Schroeder, senior producer for The Fractured But Whole. Or, however you want to inflect it. That was one of the most fun demos I've seen for this whole show.
Thank you.
I'm having a lot of fun with it. Well, it looks like you focused mainly on, catering to South Park's demographic, people who love it, and which is everyone, and and just having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we are trying to make a game for Matt and Trey because Matt's like a casual. He likes The Division. He likes FIFA. Trey is like a hardcore RPG guy. So if we are able to hit both of them, plus their wives and plus their kids, then we possibly have hit every single demographic we can.
There were a lot of Easter eggs hidden in there, I guess, like just small blurbs of items that you can craft into things. How far did you go into their minds, Matt and Trey?
Well, so Matt and Trey are part of every one of our creative discussions, really. Like, they are the writers, they're the creative directors, they have editorial control. They really are just in charge of the game, and they really want to make something that they're proud of. They want to make it a South Park product. So that means that we just really try to make sure that the game is authentic to the show and people really feel like they're in an episode. So they're the new kid in town, and really they get to explore South Park that they know and love.
So at this point, it's right after the Stick of Truth.
Right.
And we're just picking up exactly at the end with King Douchebag and jumping into the story right away.
Yeah, it's just been like the next day or a couple days later, and the boys were still playing Stick of Truth. You were the king, but now they've all switched games to superheroes, and because you didn't have a superhero persona because you hadn't moved to town last time they played, you have to start at the bottom. Cartman's trying to build the biggest superhero franchise that's ever existed and make $1 billion. So he wants you to be a good, marketable superhero, so he helps you craft your superhero class and your backstory.
That and with the classes on that subject, how many classes are there? There were only 3 that we could choose from in the demo, but I saw a lot more able in the future.
We have about a dozen different hero classes, and each of those come with 4 main powers, and then throughout the game you're going to be able to mix and match those classes and powers in order to really kind of create a weird superhero, like an elementalist, blaster, psychic with a splash of brick.
Has the gameplay changed at all, or is it?
Yeah, the game's changed a lot. Like we had to build it from the ground up. We started with Snowdrop and nothing, and we just started building with their vision of what they wanted the game to be. So it looks a lot like Stick of Truth because Stick of Truth looks a lot like the show. But it's actually been entirely rebuilt, and one of the big things that we rebuilt was the combat, and now it's tactical. It's still turn-based, but the characters can move around, and you can get in a position on your enemies. You can get behind cover. You have to really use the space in order to win the fights.
Who's your favorite character?
Butters is always my favorite, but in this he's a bad guy. He's Professor Chaos, so it's hard to like him, but he's a likable bad guy.
My favorite, I think, so far is Timmy. What is his superhero name, though?
Dr. Timothy. He's sort of a Professor Xavier psychic. Yeah, that's something you'll only know if you actually get to see our demo, which is some exclusive information.
How much liberty did you get to play with the South Park world and the characters?
I mean, the biggest thing is that we want to make sure that the humor really comes through, and for us that means being really true to those characters. And so we're not really taking too many liberties. They're really true to themselves, and we're not doing anything out of character for them. So it's really, they're the characters you know and love, but now sort of hardcore superheroes.
What was your favorite part about making this game? I think we have to wrap up soon because it'll be a Just Dance Off.
There's going to be a dance-off going on right behind us. We'll see. So far, my favorite parts of working on the game have really been the creative meetings. I like selfishly have learned a lot about comedy in doing it, and like really what it takes to do a comedy game, and that's timing. You have to give people the opportunity to get invested in a joke so that they can have maybe their expectations subverted, or you make them interact with humor and make them fart and like actually touch it and like actually do the action, which is very different than an episode or a movie. Like being involved somehow makes you guilty in what the boys are doing.
Sure. I think comedy games are something that sometimes people forget about, like how to do them properly. Comedy's hard if you put that against drama, at least in my opinion. but there was a lot of farting. Is that like the main character's like base superpower?
Right. The new kid in the Stick of Truth had farts that were really special. He could throw them. He could knock people out. Like he could set fires. And there's something special about this kid's ass. And so he really is still using that to shatter the items in the world. But he actually can fart so bad this time that he can actually rip a hole in the fabric of time, which allows you to change the turn order. And in a turn-based game, that really is very powerful.
Is there an extra fart class that we haven't heard about yet?
No, not really. I mean, the farts are really kind of just, all of his powers are really derived from farts. So really, whether you're a blaster, you have a fart blast. That's just kind of the way it is.
The fart is the baseline for all powers, I suppose.
It is powers for the main character. All of the other boys are using their own imaginations, but then we have little things like combining your really special farts with the boys' powers, and you have something that you saw in the demo, which is like the human kite, which is Kyle Broflovsky.
Fart core.
Fart core. So you blast a high power, hot gust of wind into that kite, and all of a sudden you guys can start bouncing around the world and solving puzzles.
I'm so glad that we're having this conversation, and I hope it gets taken really out of context when this goes to editing. But yeah, overall, it's a lot of fun. I think it's been the most fun I've had so far. So check it out, y'all. Do we have a release date for it yet?
It'll be coming out on December 6th on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
Yay!